to be able to watch pretty high-level lacrosse. And this is the first time we will be broadcasting live on the internet, so we're making history today, which is pretty exciting, making it even more big time.
Yeah, we're on the adjacent to where they held the 1980 Winter Olympic Games opening ceremonies here in Lake Placid, and ski jumps off in the background. The pretty scenic view here where these fields are. The 6 fields built here about 6 years ago, and a perfect place for one of these lacrosse festivals, really, John. It's a festival, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It is. It's a week-long festival now. They got a scholastic tournament during the first half of the week before the old guys start playing on Wednesday and Thursday. So George and Kevin Lavelle have done an amazing job building this into one of the top events. And there's a goal by Liam Banks, these former Syracuse All-American attackmen, now down in Atlanta with LB3 Lacrosse, doing a great job growing the game down there. And I've seen him play the last couple of years, and he is one of the most effective scorers and feeders that this game has ever seen. The guy just scores goals and makes things happen on offense. It's amazing to watch. He's a great player. So 1-1 Steelheads/Burnt Orange. About 11 minutes to go in the first quarter.
There's a replay. Nice shot. And again, it's what's always intrigued me. I'm from Lake Placid, and it just always intrigued me to hear that the best of the sport from 20, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, 10 weeks ago, all come to Lake Placid to compete. And these people all know each other, don't they?
Yeah, it's a family. I mean, I first started coming up here 5 years ago, and George kind of told me about the environment, and everybody I talked to up here has been coming for at least 5, 10, sometimes all 24 years. It's the 24th annual event, and I talk to at least a half a dozen people every year that have been to every single one, which is pretty amazing to see. And these guys are really, the alumni factor is really drawing a lot of people in. Teams coming in with all their alumni groups to kind of reminisce and revisit. The Hopkins, Johns Hopkins brought up a team this year. UMass has had more guys. Georgetown brought a team. So the alumni factor has really been strong lately, and that's been a nice drawing point for people. A nice save there by Jason Gebhardt in goal for the Burnt Orange.
And how much is fitness important? You think there's a level of fitness here, any advantage for anybody? Or?
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, the guys who stay in shape are obviously going to be better off playing a couple games. 3, 4, 5 games in 3-4 days is not what these guys are accustomed to. Some of these guys are still in great shape. Some of these guys have played MLL recently. So there's a shot by Sean Lindsay, who's been playing on the LXM Pro Tour out in the West Coast. He's living now, so he's still in pretty tip-top shape. One of the younger guys out here, but it's a mix, and some of these guys are just still have amazing skill. Ric Beardsley's a guy who is still playing in some club leagues, but is a late '90s grad from Syracuse and still has amazing footwork, amazing stick work on the defensive end, and not as quick as he once was, but still has it. So it's been fun to watch him as well.
And how much do these guys that don't play, like in MLL, or they come up here, do they sharpen their skills any other time of the year, or they just come up this their only weekend of the year they play?
Yeah, some do, some don't.
The score?
Some do, some don't. Colin Crawford with a goal, California resident right now.
And these 7. Are all Cornell alumni, every guy.
Correct, for the most part. I believe I think it's 100%. They're playing in honor of David Holder, which DavidHolderFoundation.org is the cause that they're playing for. Former Cornell alumni, passed away in 2008. I apologize, of lymphoma. So they've been playing the last couple of years to raise money for his foundation, which has really been a good cause. And the Burnt Orange are playing for the Simmons Foundation, SimmonsLacrosseFoundation.com, which is also a great cause for Coach Simmons, Coach Roy Simmons Jr., who could not make it up this year. Just had a knee replaced. Nice save there by Matt Norfolk, who a Lake Placid resident.
Guy.
Yep,
Lawyer,
Lake Placid resident, and has been kind of the driving force for this Big Red Steelheads team. Really started it up. I've seen him make some amazing saves in goal. He had a banged up ankle earlier in the week, but he's running around good right now. So still looking good. 2-1 Steelheads. 8 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Pretty hard rains here yesterday. Field's a little dug up, but actually the fields are in pretty good shape considering they've had a full week of play starting on Monday, as you mentioned, the scholastic divisions. And it just starts on Monday morning, John, and it is amazing how many people are on these fields. 2,000 people every day of the week. It is there's come in droves. And these aren't the only fields. There's 6 more fields going on in operation within a half mile of this location now.
Yeah, we're at the North Alba Athletic Fields, and the Horse Show Grounds are the other fields. It's just a quick 4-minute drive away. But this is kind of the main hub, and yeah, it's amazing, what the city and what the city's done to kind of team up with the Lavelles to build these fields and maintain them, and it brings in millions of dollars to this region, the High Peaks region, every year, and it's been great to see. I love coming up here. It's a gorgeous backdrop. You can see the mountains and you can see the ski jumps off to the right behind the Syracuse goal. So it's a really gorgeous place, a lot of family atmosphere, and it's a lot to do with the ski jumps and the hiking and kayaking and swimming and all the cool stuff going on here. So it's a really good family trip, and I saw, like, as I mentioned, saw Coach DeLuca yesterday, and he had his wife and 2 daughters with him, and they were excited to be here, kind of experiencing it for the first time. And for guys that do lacrosse all summer long, to get another vacation out of the game and bring their families to it, it says something about how strong the draw is up here. So
the wives like it.
Yeah, they do, because they can kind of sit out in the sun, hang out with the kids, maybe go swimming, maybe they watch the games, maybe they don't. But it's a good atmosphere. In fact, you can sit on the sideline with your kids and watch your husbands and dads and boyfriends play. Is a pretty cool atmosphere, and you're playing top-notch lacrosse, so it's fun.
So it's John Morgan with John Giletti of Inside Lacrosse, doing the commentary here from the Lake Placid North Elba Fields. We're in this first period of this basically Cornell versus Syracuse alumni game. Cornell holding the lead 2-1. Syracuse, the number 1 seed. They've advanced, winning both their games so far, and have been the perennial champs here for how many years in a row? I don't
2 in
know.
a row, and then I think they won the year before that, after the Rusty Red beat them 3 years ago. So it's been Cornell and Syracuse pretty much dominating this division over the last 4 or 5 years, with the old Rusty Red team that has evolved a little bit into this Big Red Steelheads team. There's the Anthony Pavone running it from X back behind the goal.
And how about the referees? There's about 80 referees that manage these games. How do they select the referees to this game? Are these NCAA refs?
These are local guys. Local to the state, but yeah, the Lavelles do a great job of getting good refs up here, and obviously playing with these guys that play with the passion and fire. They want to win, and they're always yelling at the refs, and the refs are always wrong. But there are some NCAA refs at this event. And it's pretty good. I've never really seen many problems, and with this atmosphere, you're not seeing guys going at each other, doing dirty play or anything like that. It's pretty clean, and ultimately everybody's up here to have a good time. So obviously the competitive fire comes out every once in a while, but it's been pretty clean over the 5 years that I've been here.
So 5 minutes to go in the first of 4 periods. Fields are a little bit narrower and not as long, right? Is this make the game a little different?
A little bit, yeah. It's again, it's going to be a quicker game when you don't have really too much coaching. The summer league games are always a little bit more free flowing. You'll see some more risky play, some guys having some fun.
And there's a score.
Nice shot from the right angle there.
Number 16.
Todd Adler from coming all the way up from Florida for this game. It was a nice shot. It was a tough shot from the side there. Didn't think he had much of an angle, but got it by Jason Gebhardt in the Syracuse goal for a 3-1 Steelheads lead with about 4.5 to go in the first quarter. We're going to see the face-off here from Colin Crawford and Bobby Fazy.
These two met up against each other a number of years, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the cool thing. These guys play each other every year, and
they probably get played against each other in college.
Played each other in college, so they know each other well. Everybody knows each other, and lacrosse is a small community, so everybody still knows each other, even if they're not coming up here. So the fact that you come up here every year and you develop better relationships with some of the guys who maybe you played against more so in college than played with. So it's been a good group. And there's Charlie Lockwood wearing the 22 for Syracuse, the laser. He had a nice goal yesterday, returning after, I believe, a 1-year absence. Didn't make it up last year, but wore that storied 22 at Syracuse.
Give us the background on that.
The 22 was made famous, obviously, by Gary Gate in the late 80s. many will say the best player of all time. Played with his brother Paul, who wore 19, but that was kind of the beginning of the legacy, and it has gone amazingly since then. Charlie Lockwood, Casey and Ryan Powell, and Mikey Powell as well, who have all played in this tournament. Didn't make it up this year, unfortunately, the Powell brothers, but have wowed fans up here. And then and Dan Hardy, Cody Jamieson, most recently Jojo Marasco. And we have the newest 22, Jordan Evans, recently given that jersey. He was Inside Lacrosse Magazine's #1 recruit this year, and we're excited to see him play starting this fall. He didn't make it up this week. Was hoping to make it up, but didn't make it up. But we'll see what Jordan Evans is able to bring us when he gets to campus.
So good save there, but the Syracuse goalie.
Mm-hmm.
Cornell, a lot of pressure, controlling, dominating the game so far. Syracuse, not too many shots on goal, which is, considering the All-Americans they got running around on that field, it's
a little
surprising.
bit of a surprise. You got here's Tim Burns bringing the ball upfield for Syracuse, and I feel like this happens every time I watch the Syracuse and Cornell teams play in this event. Syracuse goes down early, and then kind of gets their feet together, gets their feet under them, and then makes a run. So we'll see what happens here, but. Syracuse is missing some of those big guns, as I mentioned. The Powell brothers weren't able to make it up. I believe Ryan Powell just had a baby, and Casey is playing for the Chesapeake Bayhawks in Major League Lacrosse, just made his return to MLL, so was unable to make it up this time around. There's Liam Banks behind the cage, where he does best. Got his defender hung up in front of the crease there, number 31.
So what's he trying to do? They're going to set a play?
He's trying to exploit. Oh, there we go. He got the look he wanted to Sean Lindsay, but Matt Norfolk made an amazing save. And
another one.
Looks like they both made that save. Brian Rogers helped him out on that one.
Syracuse starting to control the ball a little bit more here.
There's Kevin Doherty trying to chase down that loose ball, wearing the box lacrosse helmet. There was Jim Morrissey just carrying the ball, the head coach at Holy Cross, legendary Syracuse attackman back in the day. Has really done a nice job with the Holy Cross program these last 4 years. He's entering his 4th year at the school. Really made some strides there and turning it into a nice team in the Big East.
Have you seen the big growth in the last 10 years? There's a score. Whoa. Didn't see who that was.
Kevin Doherty, number 4.
Kevin Doherty. He made that look pretty easy. And that inches Syracuse back from a 3-1 deficit, now 3-2. But boy, that wasn't too much of an effort in that goal.
No, just kind of took it down the alley on the right side there and got it past Matt Norfolk in goal. Kevin Doherty's one of the guys who I only really see play once a year up here in Lake Placid, and still can bring it. He was had a great career after transferring up to Syracuse from Hofstra. Really great guy, and has always been a good guy to interact with up here. Always has a unique helmet. This is a new box helmet he's had on, but he always wears the box helmet for some reason, and it makes him stand out a little bit. Definitely a unique guy. There's a face-off win by Doug Needham.
Infraction there? Yeah, he called
it. So. Yep, they gave that to Syracuse.
So here comes Syracuse trying to tie the game up. We're within 15 seconds. Do they see they don't know the clock, do they?
They do not. They'll call it the refs. They'll badger the people at the table for the score for the time remaining, but the guys in the field just badger the refs as much as they can.
But we're down into the final seconds here. Syracuse trying to get on the board to match the score here at
Sean Lindsay with a lefty shot there. And you'll see that there's a couple different couple guys have the same numbers on, which Syracuse guys like to do. It started with the Powells, who all wore 22. You'll see number 221s, Tim Burns and Sean Lindsay. You'll see 218s, John Glatzel and Chris McCartan back on the defensive end. So a little confusing, but we'll try to help you out with that. Syracuse guys never adhering to the normal rules, of course.
They're on the attack
Fast
here.
Break.
Trying to tie the score. Whip around. Not successful. Oh, there comes Cornell. We'll take this the other way. And that's it. That's the end of the first quarter. As expected, a very close game, but it's Cornell, the Steelheads, in front of the Burnt Orange, 3-2 after the first quarter here in beautiful Lake Placid, New York. John Giletti and John Morgan bringing you the call of today's game. How much of a break here? 3 or 4 minutes?
Yep, just a real quick one. Barely a break here. These guys they keep moving pretty quick up here with the running time during the quarters, and then the breaks are pretty quick as well. Guys catch their breath and then get back out there. So nice quarter for the Steelheads. Getting a couple nice saves from Matt Norfolk in goal, and then sticking some nice offensive plays on the other end. So. Typical Cornell team. They play smart. They take advantage of their possessions and really make the most of their opportunities. And that's always been the way they played, both in I think in college the program, and then up here in Lake Placid as well.
Yeah, the growth of the sport, though, in the last 10 years. I mean, there's it used to be the dominant powers, the Syracuse, the Cornell, the Johns Hopkins. Now the sport has seemed to really explode in the last 4 or 5 years, not only on the NCAA level, but I'm impressed with what I saw with the under-19 level, the people coming up here earlier in the week, and you know that. You've documented all this.
Yeah, you're seeing tremendous growth throughout the country, really. Geographically, California, Colorado, Washington, on the West Coast, and then Florida, and Georgia on the southeast. North Carolina is getting pretty big. It's just growing in the Midwest as well. It's spreading out beyond the Northeast. It's spreading beyond private schools. You're seeing so many good kids coming out these days, and that's really making the NCAA game better. And that there's just so many good players throughout the NCAA now that the parity that we saw, especially last spring, is that anybody can really beat anybody. The depth of top teams is just so much deeper than it has been at that top level. So, seeing Loyola win for their first championship, seeing Duke win their first championship a couple years ago before they won it again last year is great to see. You're just seeing more teams able to compete for that national title and play at that top level, which is great.
Well, number 30 took a hard lick. Somebody fell right on him. He's getting up slow.
That's Matt Alexander. We talked earlier about guys who are staying in shape. Matt might be one of the most in-shape guys out here. Still has tremendous speed and has been a critical defensive midfielder mostly for Syracuse up here at Burnt Orange. He's taken some runs with the Burning Orange as well, the younger open team when he is available. So he's a warrior and actually just got engaged a month ago. Hopefully he's okay.
There's a score, number 21 for the Burnt Orange.
Tim Burns just took his man down to the right angle there, and
Tim looks pretty big.
He's a big boy. He actually played a little hoops for Syracuse, walked on his last year, which has been somewhat of a tradition. Charlie Lockwood did that as well, played for the Syracuse Orange basketball team in his final year as a walk-on with Jimmy Boeheim, who was actually a lacrosse fan, supporter. See him in the press box during lacrosse games. And you saw Tim, again, one of the better all-around midfielders up here. Plays great defense. Can take it to the hole. Had 3 goals yesterday in their quarterfinal win. Just a great all-around midfielder and still has the motor. There's Bobby Fazy winning that faceoff.
So Syracuse starting to show why they're the number 1 ranked team in the tournament at this time. The defending champions.
Paul Carcaterra carrying the ball from behind. As many of you may know Paul from ESPN. He's a popular commentator on there, does a lot of sideline work, and also does color in the booth for ESPNU. We were hoping to get him for this afternoon's 1:30 game, but it has some family obligations, going to the ski jumps, I believe, with his growing brood of energetic young kids. But Paul was an All-American midfielder. Yeah, All-American midfielder for Syracuse back in his playing days in the 90s.
If you notice, there's 6 other fields, all games going on, all divisions, women, open, alumni, over 50s. There's 12 different divisions in the tournament, which just tells you over 200 teams compete here over a week's time. Quite a festival.
Todd Ogentool, sporting the long hair there, number 12.
Ooh, there's some contact.
It's a big hit by Sean Lindsay.
Ooh, there's a flag is thrown on the field. That's a delayed penalty in lacrosse also, like hockey.
Yep. Yeah. Wait till the stoppage and wait till the team gets the ball back. So we'll have either 30 second or a minute here.
Yeah. There's the big hit.
Oh wait, a broken stick.
Ooh, how many times do you see that?
Not very often.
So this would be a 45-second penalty, you think, advantage?
Should be 30 or a minute.
set play here to discuss? Do you have a set play?
Yep. Cornell will be man up. Yeah. Man up. You usually bring in. You want to bring in your shooters to take advantage of that more space with the less, less defensemen that you're going against. So definitely a big advantage for the team that's man up. And you see an outside shot.
Wide.
Saved by Gebhardt. Looks like Anthony Pavone's still kind of running the show from behind.
Right up front, a little high.
Chris Standler, Connecticut guy with the shot from up top. Big boy. Oh, looks like our cameraman almost got in on the action with that one. As you can see, we are risking life and limb to get it on the field to get you a closer look at the action. And there's the view from our cameraman down there on the field.
Referees are a little flexible with that.
And the players as well. We appreciate everyone being flexible and welcoming for this history-making broadcast.
Well, it's the 25th anniversary next year, and this is just the prelude to a special event that they want to host in conjunction with the 25th anniversary of the Lake Placid Summit Lacrosse event. Hard to believe they've been coming up here for 24 years, but every year it just seems to develop more interest.
And new additions every year. It's great that the Lavelles are trying to innovate and evolve, and obviously this webcast is a perfect example of that. I talked to a couple of the guys earlier, and they were before the game, and they were really excited that we were doing this, and had mentioned the history in the making. So glad that everybody's happy with it. We'll have an open men's Open 1 semifinal at 1:30, which the games are being played now to determine who will be playing in that game. The Burning Orange Syracuse younger group, and a Select Sector Spiders, probably the top two teams in those groups that are vying for that spot. Tom Schreiber, Brendan Fowler, Jake Fricaro, Matt Cavanaugh among the players for Select Sector Spiders. Mike Lavelle, Kenny Nims, Joe Moore among the players for Burning Orange that I saw yesterday.
3-3 here, 5 minutes gone in the second period. Cornell, or Syracuse, the number 1 ranked team. Cornell, the number 4.
Looks like Charlie Lockwood's going to take us in on this possession. Gorgeous day up here. Yesterday, as you mentioned, we had some rain, but dry and nice and cool. High 60s right now. Could not be better lacrosse weather.
There's a shot. Wide.
Sean Lindsay cranked that up, just sent it a little bit wide. And Liam Banks will take it in for us.
Will the referees allow a little bit more to go on here, or will they still enforce the rules like they normally do in a highly competitive game?
Yeah, they let it go a little bit. They let these guys play, and again, they want to keep the peace and make sure guys aren't getting too out of hand. But it's pretty good spirited up here, so they let them play a little bit, which is always fun to see. The game flows a little bit more than maybe some of the college games that we've seen recently. A little more fun.
Boy, there's been a lot of college lacrosse on TV in the last couple of years too. You've seen that, John.
Yeah, ESPN has really done an amazing job, especially leading the way with all their broadcasts every year, and it's really grown the sport a lot, I think. It just spreads the game to new areas and adds another level to it, and it's been great to give these players and these programs a little bit more publicity on the national level, and again, ESPN has really led that charge. CBS Sports and NBC have kind of picked it up as well. Fox it looks like they're going to be doing some games. So we're going to be seeing an amazing continued growth at the TV level, and you're seeing more of these webcasts too. A lot of programs doing those for their parents and alumni.
Oh,
behind the back shot by Charlie Lockwood, trying to increase his angle going down that right side.
There's discussion about lacrosse in the Olympics. I do know that lacrosse was a demonstration sport in the 1948 Olympic Games in London. And the coach was the legendary Ned Harkness, the Cornell hockey coach, who ended up becoming the head of the Olympic Authority up here in Lake Placid, which was the group that managed the post-Olympic period after the Olympic Games in 1980, and had a chance to work with him. Big lacrosse promoter, advocate.
Yeah, we're pushing the sport toward Olympic participation. Hopefully, looking at maybe 2020s, maybe getting that far. The growth at the international level has also been very strong. You're looking at the game being played all over the world now, in every continent, and that's really been cool to see. We just had the Women's World Cup up in Ontario about a month ago, and then next year in Denver we'll have the FIL Men's World Championship. In mid-July, so that should be a really exciting event. To have those games back on U.S. soil should be big for the game. And Denver's a growing market, a lot of potential there, a lot of interest. So that could be a really huge event for the game next summer.
3-3 tie here. 7 minutes to go in the second period. The Cornell Steelheads against the Burnt Orange of Syracuse. I mean, anything behind the Steelheads name or the Burnt Orange name you know of?
The Steelheads, again, comes from just honoring David Holder, who passed away in 2008. I believe the Steelheads is a reference to him and his fishing hobby. And the Burnt Orange is just, look at them being a little bit older. Burnt. The burning is a play off that they're on their way toward being burnt at the younger level, under 30.
Syracuse on the attack here. Looks like they have numbers. Shot.
Oh, looks like he
hit
piped
the post.
it. Yep, Liam Banks hit the pipe on that one.
Post pipe. Here comes Cornell. Straight back. Game seems to be opening up a little bit here late in the second period. Cornell sets. And what's the story in substitutions? It's just free subs?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you come out of the box up there in the middle and see a lot of guys coming in for the midfield. Typically, defensive to offensive transition. You'll see guys switching the personnel a bit to go from the defensive midfielders to the offensive midfielders.
Ooh, shot, score! Whoa, that's
another bounce shot. Looks like the bouncers might be the scouting report on Jason Gebhardt and maybe playing off this tricky mud in front of the net there. Tough
Cornell
to read.
takes the lead here and with about 3 or 4 minutes to go till the half. 5 minutes to go. But that was quite a score. I don't think anybody was thinking he was going to shoot from that angle.
No, I think he surprised him. That bouncer might have come off that mud a little bit awkwardly. And
there it is, the replay of it. You can see from quite a distance out. There's a lot of traffic in front of the goalie. So Cornell with the lead, 4-3.
Another violation there. This time going to Syracuse. Can't get the ball out of his stick. Looks like Matt Alexander's back in the game, so he's okay after that earlier hit.
Syracuse trying to equal the score. The Big Red from Cornell, the Steelheads, have been in the lead throughout the game. Syracuse fought back from a 3-1 deficit to tie. Cornell reemerged. Syracuse on the attack. Pretty wide shot there by number 8 for
Jim
Syracuse.
Morrissey missing it wide. Looks like Syracuse is being patient and methodical here, looking for the right look. Again, like I said, I think first quarter usually a little bit more free-flowing, and then guys settle in. Ooh,
there's a score. There's some play right there.
A heck of a shot from Liam Banks. As I mentioned, he just always finds ways to score. Scoring from no angle on that left wing there is a pretty good example of that. He just is an amazingly effective goal scorer. If we see the replay here, you could tell he had no angle on that, and probably surprised Matt Norfolk a little bit in goal with getting that one by him.
Here we go. Replay. 3 passes here, 21 to 19, and then into Liam Banks. Bang, bang, bang. Looks like they've done that before.
Yep. Yeah, that was those guys have played together the last 3 years and stuck that one low right by Norfolk in goal.
So it's 4-4. 3 minutes, 25 seconds to go here to halftime from beautiful Lake Placid, New York. We thank all our sponsors, Sam Adams, U.S. Lacrosse Foundation, Hannaford's, Tail of the Pub, Warrior, Brian.
Yep, and Kevin Lavelle, who's playing for the old UMass Old Men in the Masters Division, obviously George's son, and the associate director of this tournament, works for Works for Bryan Warriors, also playing in Major League Lacrosse, and a U.S. team hopeful. One of the greatest American goal scorers that this game has seen. Very effective and put on quite a show so far in this tournament. Younger brother Mike playing for the Burning Orange in the Open Division, the younger division. Also put on quite a performance yesterday in that fourth quarter for Burning Orange with 3 goals.
Right in front.
Oh, I think you waited too long on that one.
Waited too long, that's right. Syracuse tried to take the lead. Seems like they started to dominate play here in the last 3 or 4 minutes, but here comes Cornell on the attack.
Saw the patience there from Matt Norfolk to stay with all those fakes and just hung in there and didn't bite on anything and came up with the save.
Goalies wearing no pads on the arms. Boy, John, huh?
And you're looking at, number 13 for Syracuse. His former Syracuse goalie, Rob Mulligan, was bumped out of the goal and will be just playing midfield for Syracuse this tournament. And former goalie, and he basically said he was the happiest guy in Lake Placid when he found out he didn't have to play goal. So goalies are tough to get at these tournaments because they usually hang them up when they're done with their college careers. They've had enough of getting pelted with 100-mile-an-hour shots their whole lives.
Is that the speed of a lacrosse ball? Is 100 miles an hour?
114 is the world record.
It's cool. Nice play there.
Nice play. Set by Mike Sawyer at the Major League Lacrosse All-Star Game back in July. Loyola grad playing for the Charlotte Hounds.
114 with that. What's the weight of that projectile?
I don't know the exact weight, but that'll hurt. I saw a couple pretty bad bruises that were multiple colors, and among the ugliest things I've seen last night on some guys. Showing off their battle scars from the first couple days of the event, just taking shots in the leg. Looks like we have a timeout.
So how many timeouts they get a half? Couple?
2 per half.
So John Morgan and John Gelati here from Inside Lacrosse, bringing you this broadcast from Lake Placid, New York.
John Glatzel and Jason Gebhardt discussing things. John Glatzel, one of the better defensemen of all time, probably one of the best sticks, especially on a defenseman. Baltimore product out of Boys Latin.
Here's that last goal by Syracuse. That's defense. I think you're right. He waited a little too long there.
Yeah, and Brian Rogers came in, the defensive end for the Steelheads, and helped out. But yeah, I think Tim Burns is usually more accustomed to dodging from up top. He's not used to being that close on the crease, and Matt Norfolk ate up that shot pretty nicely.
Beautiful setting here. 6 different fields going on. If you look across the way, you could see, all these fields will be in use all day today. Tomorrow they start to crown the champions of the 12 divisions.
The Cloud Splitters won the Ultra Grandmasters Championship last night.
How old are they?
On Thursday. They are very old. I will look up the actual
50s?
figure on that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I talked to a guy yesterday who was playing in 3 different teams. He was 62.
Boy,
Matt Levine from down in New York City Lax, still in great shape.
How can you keep those hamstrings and groins in that position? Look at that. There's Syracuse again. Syracuse looks like they've been starting to figure out how to dominate this Cornell team, and they finally, I think they've taken the lead.
They have. That's 5-4.
5-4. So the first time that the Burnt Orange from Syracuse have taken the lead. Replay coming up here will show you they just controlling the game. And Matt Norfolk couldn't save that one. Again, Norfolk, the Lake Placid resident.
Attorney up here, and again has really done a great job of organizing these Cornell guys.
Halftime. So we have completed the first half of this game between the Cornell Steelheads and the Syracuse-Burnt Orange. Steelheads dominated early, up 3-1. Syracuse came back, has taken the lead at halftime by a score of 5-4. Going to take a little bit of a commercial break. Stay with us for the second half here from the 24th annual Lake Placid Summit Lacrosse event.
Really?
Is it really?
No way.
Why are these people surprised? They just found out they were secretly tasting Sam Adams Boston Lager.
It's got a good color.
It's got a good hoppy smell to it.
It's got a good body.
It's very smooth. I like that.
Smooth, but it does have flavor.
You are drinking Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Oh,
Really?
You definitely got me. It's consistent. It's nice. It's damn good beer.
I could drink a couple of these.
I obviously was selling myself short by not even considering this as a possibility.
So we're back for the second half. Go ahead.
Yep, we got looks like Jay Abendroth carrying that ball up the field for Syracuse. And we were back 5-4 with the Burnt Orange, a 1-goal lead heading into the second half. They went down early and made a nice little comeback. Thanks a lot to Liam Banks in that second quarter. And now we see Syracuse again being a little bit more patient, getting their offensive personnel in here with Charlie Lockwood, Tim Burns, and the third midfielder Kevin Doherty coming in and taking the ball down the right side there.
Well, Cornell dominated the game early, had the 3-1 lead. Syracuse, as expected, is coming back, and they're on the verge of adding another goal. They took the lead just with like 30 seconds to go in the first half. And there they are scoring again early on. So it looks like Syracuse, the number 1 seed, is starting to do what everybody expected them to do. Cornell, the number 4 seed. Syracuse, the Burnt Orange, as they're called. Like you said, how many All-Americans on this team? There's probably about probably 10 or 12 in the lineup.
Too many certificates to count.
Yeah.
And you saw 2 right there, 2 former All-Americans. Charlie Lockwood feeding that down in tight
Nice goal.
to Jim Morrissey in front. Amazing for him to be able to catch that pass and finish the way he did. That was an incredible finish from the current Holy Cross head coach, and a great look from Charlie Lockwood, the Laser, as he was known during his college career. Just looking through an old Inside Lacrosse issue and saw a 2-page spread of Charlie Lockwood and a Reebok ad way back in the day in the late 90s. Pretty cool to see that stuff before. Ric Beardsley really wanted to take that shot, didn't he? If you see Ric Beardsley carrying the ball up the field, you're pretty sure he's going to take that shot. And he'll probably give you some commentary the whole way down and the whole way back as well. But the turnover, and the Steelheads have the ball. Colin Crawford carrying it up for the Cornell alumni.
Beautiful day here in Lake Placid. Rain yesterday. You could see tore up the fields a little bit, but things have dried out well. And Again, 12 different fields being used here within a half mile of these 6 fields. The scenic setting here is impressive. You know, these are on the fields adjacent to the opening ceremonies venue for the 1980 Olympic Games. You look over there on the right near the ski jumps, you can see the torch used for those 1980 Olympic Games. So basically these players are playing on hallowed ground.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to walk around town and see the old oval in town and the ice where the miracle obviously happened, and it's just the history and you know, the Olympic background here just really makes it a special place.
Walking the streets of Lake Placid, you certainly know there's a lacrosse event in town, I can tell you that. There's a lot of great athletes, but one thing about Lake Placid, they're used to great athletes walking around this community, so the community knows how to support these athletes.
A lot of hockey events, obviously, here. There's a big rugby tournament a couple weeks prior. The triathlon, the Ironman is obviously a huge one, which features some of the best athletes in the world. And then, obviously, skiing up at Whiteface.
What to talk about now? Right now in the hockey rink, there's Sweden, Norway, United States, and Canada under 19s.
Wow.
A lot of NHL scouts down there, so that's going on same weekend here as this tournament. Some of the best young hockey players in the world. A lot of NHL scouts in the audience looking at these guys. But Lake Placid, known for its sports, and Lake Placid Lacrosse, 24 years they've been hosting this event here, and it just gets bigger every year. And John, how many years for you at Inside Lacrosse?
This is years at Inside Lacrosse. I'm in my 13th.
Wow.
And this will be my 5th year up at the Lake Placid Summit Classic. I've gotten hooked pretty quickly on this place. I love trying to take a couple extra days and hike and kayak and explore everything around here. I'm an upstate guy from my roots, and a lot of upstaters up here. Oh, and you see Jason Gebhardt carrying the ball upfield. Still got some wheels.
Nice pass,
Nice
right in
look.
front. Should be a shot.
Oh, Paul Carcaterra hit the pipe on that one.
Best friend of the goalie, that pipe, just like in hockey.
Jason Gebhardt's not going to be happy about that. He gave him a nice feed and did a lot of work to get all the way up there, and now he's back in the crease.
Syracuse dominating play. Ooh, some good contact there. Do the people still come up here and hit like they would in the college days, or there's a little bit more respect for each
A
other?
little more, well, respect. I saw some pretty big hits yesterday. It was actually 2 former Syracuse guys going against each other on opposite teams and accidentally hit each other.
Ooh, right in front.
So yeah, you're seeing again, like I said, there's a lot of fire and intensity up here. These guys want to win, and it's cool. And the college guys, the younger guys, are still pretty fired up, and they want some bragging rights heading into the fall and when they get back on campus. So there's a lot of intensity. I was blown away, especially by the Masters Division, the intensity when I first came up here, you know, watching guys like Roy Colsey and Casey Powell run around and how seriously they took it.
Ooh, nice save there. Shots on goal, I got to believe, early on was Cornell, but Syracuse has dominated since I would say late in the first quarter. Syracuse has dominated shots on goal and play.
Mike LaRocco now in goal for the Cornell Big Red Steelheads made that play.
So they're slowing it down to catch their breath. They're slowing it down, a little strategy, or is it you think Cornell says, I want to slow the game down against Syracuse because Syracuse seems at a quicker pace to have the more dominant play?
Yeah, Syracuse typically thrives in that up-tempo, fast break game, and you know, Cornell probably wants to catch their breath here and make the most of this possession. Down 2 goals, all of a sudden they want to get back within 1. And as you can see, they're playing a little bit smoother here.
As we always see in a lacrosse event, the field gets pretty dug up in these tournaments around the goal. Does that affect the shot? Is that an advantage for the goalie or the shooter?
Probably more so. Well, I would say for the shooter if you're trying to bounce it because it's an unpredictable bounce off that. But for the offensive players to be slipping and sliding in front there is not good for the quicker, faster guys. There's a heck of a fake by Liam Banks there on the Big Red Steelheads defender. I think he even faked out Paul Carcaterra because he wasn't ready for that pass down low. And the ball's back to Cornell.
So, and we go back on the attack for Syracuse here. You got to be a gazelle to play this game. Have you seen the body type change in your 10 years at Inside Lacrosse?
Yeah, you're seeing bigger, faster, stronger guys coming up. You know, more guys, more high school players are, football basketball, baseball, bigger athletes are turning over to lacrosse, seeing more opportunities there, a little bit faster up and down game than some of these other sports. So you're definitely seeing bigger, faster, stronger guys playing, but you're still seeing guys that are smaller and quick and just know how to play the game. Liam Banks is a perfect example of that, but there's some guys, Matt Kavanaugh over for Notre Dame, who's playing for the Select Sector Spiders, not the tallest guy, but had a great freshman year for them. And again, if you're smart and quick and athletic, then you can still play this game at a very high level.
Well, of course, the legendary Jim Brown was the lacrosse player we all remember, and his size is. You have guys like that playing the game now.
Well, I think Jim, it's hard to compare anybody to Jim Brown, but you do have guys his relative size. Yeah, Jim, it's amazing. I got a chance to interact with him at our Big City Classic event at MetLife Stadium this year, and still loves the game, still passionate about the game, and loves talking about it. I think if he could have picked one sport over the other, if lacrosse had an equally successful pro league at that time, he probably would have played lacrosse over football. But
I've heard him say that. I've seen an interview where he talked about that.
He's an amazing guy, and it's cool to see him back involved in the game. He's involved with the New York Lizards MLL program team, and is still active with Syracuse, coming to some of their events.
6-4 Syracuse. John Morgan and John Giletti bringing you the game, and I think Syracuse just lit the lamp again. 7-4. Is Cornell getting tired, or Syracuse just domination of play just is the key?
I think Syracuse's shots are starting to fall. You saw that bounce shot from Paul Carcaterra on the right alley there, and I think they just needed to keep shooting. They were getting the opportunities and moving the ball pretty well. You saw that feed from Charlie Lockwood, and
nice
just bounced
play.
it. I think guys are taking advantage of that mud in front and trying to confuse the goalies with those bounce shots.
So Syracuse has now scored 4 straight times to almost dominate. 7-4, of course, nothing in lacrosse. 7-4, you can come back from that, no problem. But Cornell's going to have to start to get the ball. Syracuse is controlling the ball.
And they had a good opportunity there. It looked like they won that face-up but couldn't get the ground ball. And Matt Alexander, as he is so good at doing, came up with that grounder. And now we're back to Syracuse on the offensive end. Up 7-4 with about 5 minutes to go. And we're just a reminder, we're coming back at you at 1:30 for the men's open division semifinal game. Be the younger guys, under 30, a lot of college players, recent grads. Yes, you're seeing some great talent. Tom Shriver is a Torton finalist playing for Select Sector Spiders. Brendan Fowler won an NCAA championship, was MOP of the Final Four, face-off man for Duke. Jake Fricaro, another Princeton guy, Matt Kavanaugh, Notre Dame guy, and then some of the Syracuse guys. Mike Lavelle put on a show yesterday, 3 goals in the fourth quarter. Kenny Nims had a goal and a couple of assists, both All-American attackmen for Syracuse. Joe Moore, the talented long pole. Matt Harris, big hitting defenseman, number 44.
Syracuse is just having their way now with the Cornell Steelheads. But Cornell's no slack either. They got some people on their team.
No, they've I'd say they seem to be in really good shape. Got a lot of good athletes that can get up and down the field. So I think that they'll be. They have a little bit more depth than Syracuse too. You look at their bench is about double the players on there than the Burnt Orange have. So maybe that depth will play a role here, and they can come back. And if Syracuse gets a little gassed,
is there unlimited people on the bench? Unlimited? There's no roster of 12, 15. It's just unlimited.
I believe there is a roster limit at these events. It kind of comes down to who can make it and who doesn't pull out at the last minute. So as I mentioned, a couple guys pulled out for Syracuse that I know of, and I know Cornell lost a few guys too. So it's kind of the nature of these events where things come up with family or work or whatever, and you can't make the trip up. So everybody has to adjust, and sometimes you see guys from other divisions come and play. You'll see the Masters guys come down and help out the Open guys, and things everybody kind of helps each other out. And more lacrosse isn't necessarily a bad thing in the moment. Maybe Monday, Tuesday it will be, but when you're sitting at your desk and a little sore, but right
worth
now.
It. Nice movement by Cornell. They just could not convert. Some really crisp passing around the net.
Great ball movement there. It looked like J.D. Jones missed that shot. He's got the ball back now. But, that was a nice ball movement from Cornell.
They need to score here. The nice save by the goalie for Syracuse. Back on the attack, number 47.
Jay Abendroth, former long stick midi All-American, great guy for Syracuse. You see, he's got the old lid on.
Number 19 for Syracuse shoots wide. He went low. Seems like they're going low a lot here on this Cornell goalie.
Mike LaRocco coming in for the second half for Matt Norfolk, which was a planned move. I talked to Matt Norfolk before the game. He said number 6 would be coming in for him at the halftime. Usually you see that in these games. Goalies will split, and for Syracuse with their less depth than usual, Rob Mulligan's playing defensive midfield instead of coming in for Jason Gebhardt in goal. So Gebby will be our man for the full game in the crease for Syracuse.
Whoa, big wind up there. Good save by the Cornell goalie.
The Tim Burns shot and Mike LaRocco save.
2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 7-4. Syracuse over Cornell. Cornell on the attack. Oh, nice pass there. Couldn't convert.
Good luck, but a tough one to handle in traffic.
Cornell's had a couple opportunities in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Did not convert. Haven't seen many penalties. Does this surprise you? The
Yeah, it
referees?
does.
It's great to see the referees are
Yeah,
seen
these
but not
guys
heard.
it's good to see letting them play a little bit and the guys not pushing the envelope too much. I haven't seen anything too questionable here so far in terms of refereeing calls that may have been missed or gone the other way. I think it's been a really good, clean game, which is always good to see.
Cornell seems content just to sit back, or Syracuse let Cornell attack here, but Cornell looks like they're wasting time to me. Minute, 10 seconds, 15 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Referee controls this clock on field, right?
Yep, and probably holding for the last shot maybe in this quarter so they don't give Syracuse another possession if they do miss the cage.
Like in soccer, there's that's a turnaround play by number 11.
Anthony Pavone with that shot, and going back the other way, this is probably maybe not what they wanted with Syracuse getting another shot to go up 4 goals here heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Cornell had a lot of setup there. Last 3 times down, good opportunities, did not convert. They're down 7-4. We're in the final minute of the third period here from the 24th annual Lake Placid Summit Lacrosse event. Syracuse looking for to try double the score here, make it 8-4 here in the last 25 seconds. Now the referee will let this go to the last shot of the, or will he just call it as soon as the time comes up?
Yep, as soon as the time comes up, game over. So these guys have to they'll hear a countdown on the field, and they'll have to.
So the referee will be
adjust.
counting down?
Yep.
Good tip from John Gilletti from Inside Lacrosse. I'm John Morgan, happy to be bringing you this game. And Syracuse comes in and scores probably on the buzzer.
Yeah, that was right down there. Tim Burns came down the right side and stuck that. Another bounce shot. Yeah, that was right down to the wire, and that could hurt. Going up 4 goals instead of 3 with that little amount of time left on the clock in the quarter is a tough one.
So the Burnt Orange, there's a replay. The Burnt Orange have started slowly. Watch this move. Over the top. Boy, he knew all the way. Up high. Went up high.
Todd Ogentool went for that over the head check and didn't get it down on Tim Burns and was able to get that one past the goalie.
8-4 is our score. Late in the third quarter, I think that's probably it. So Syracuse, the Burnt Orange, 8. Cornell Steelheads, 4. 3 quarters complete here in Lake Placid.
Look at the ski jumps in the distance. Always a really cool backdrop. Every time I drive by those things, I'm amazed at how high and gigantic they are.
Plus, if they show us there's 6 other games going on the other fields. Here's the replay. That last couple replays as we look at the highlights from the third quarter. Good job by our guys in the truck. Look at the scenery and the view, though. It's pretty nice.
Doesn't get much better. I've been to a lot of cool locations to cover lacrosse tournaments, and this is right up there from in terms of a backdrop and environment standpoint. Just a great place, and as we mentioned, the weather's perfect. High 60s, low 70s today. Sunny. Dry out the field a little bit.
Mount Marcy in the background of the ski jumps, highest point in New York State. You ever been up there? You climb mountains, right?
I have not done Mount Marcy. I've done 4 or 5 of the high peaks. There's 46 high peaks. And it might be a tall order to get all 46 in my lifetime, but I would love to get close. We're going to try to do one on Monday. I'm excited to to get out around here. It's just amazing the system the trail system and all the nature and activities that are around here.
Trails are a little wet. A lot of rain in June. Trails are a little wet, a little damaged. I'm not a 46 picker. I'm not even close. But living here all my life, I know a lot of people who are summer and winter 46ers.
Yes,
which is
yes,
pretty amazing.
That's hardcore. I go down mountains in the winter. I don't go up them.
Yeah, I hear you there. I get that little sport bobsled I get involved with. I like
Yes.
to go down too. So here we are, fourth quarter. John Morgan, John Geleni bringing you the action from the 24th annual Lake Placid Summit Lacrosse event, brought to you by Sam Adams, by Warrior,
And Brian Lacrosse
Brian
as
Lacrosse. And
Josh Cornell and Bobby Fazy with that face-off, won by the Steelheads.
oh, here comes Cornell in the attack. They need to get some action going. Nice save by the goalie.
And
Point blank range. You know, that was a big opportunity for Cornell.
big opportunity, cut that within 3, right off the face-off there, and huge save by Jason Gebhardt on that one. That was a nice setup. The guy had a clean look at that shot.
So Syracuse on the attack. Looks like they're content to. Are they wasting time here? They're just throwing the ball around here.
Yeah,
Going to force Cornell to come out.
Yeah, again, just being patient there, no rush. They're up 4 goals, so they can kind of hold it as long as they want. They don't want to be too boring, but they're gonna wait for their opportunity and try to chew up some clock. And probably rest a little bit too. They got to play.
Nice pass behind the back. A shot or pass?
That was a behind-the-back shot by Sean Lindsay, backed up by Liam Banks over there.
Now, when does Cornell coach say, "Okay, go get him"?
Yeah, they're going to have to do that pretty quickly here. Down 4 goals. You want to start playing these guys, trying to cause some turnovers and get the ball back on your offensive end.
There's a long shot. Looks like it hit the post.
It hit the post on that one, Charlie Lockwood. But those are the shots that you probably want to allow Syracuse to take.
From that distance?
Low percentage from longer out there. That's probably a 2-pointer in Major League Lacrosse. So yeah, you want to allow those shots for Syracuse, rather than something like that.
Yeah, that's a turnover.
But a tough feed in there. Liam Banks with the feed to Jim Morris. He couldn't handle it, and the Steelheads will bring the ball back upfield with a chance to cut it within 3.
Timeout?
No, I think we're just waiting for the personnel to change, waiting for substitutions.
Yeah, you can see people stretching out a little bit. It's not all these guys are totally fit this game, huh?
Yeah.
It sort of wears on you. This is their 3rd game in 2 days.
Yeah, saw Ric Beardsley here an hour before the game, and as he mentioned, it takes him a while to get loose. 40-year-old former Syracuse All-American, one of the better defenders of all time. But yeah, a little still can run, but takes him a little longer to get loosened up nowadays.
Is that the only game of the year they'll play?
Rick plays in summer league games down in Syracuse. There's a couple leagues down there that I know he plays in. Some of these guys play in summer leagues. I know Rob Mulligan, as I mentioned earlier, is running midfield. He plays on a summer league with John Glatzel down in Connecticut. I think they both actually play midfield, offensive midfield. John Glatzel, the long stick for the close defenseman for Syracuse. But most of these guys will play a little bit, but some of them will only pick up a stick once a year, and it'll be the 3 or 4 days that they're playing here, which is absolutely amazing, the talent level that some of these guys still have, the athleticism to be able to still be that good without really any practice. And that's where you'll see a big difference in the open game that we'll do at 1:30. The college age guys are a little faster. Sticks are probably a little bit smoother, and the game will be a little bit tighter. But these guys, these Masters guys, can still bring it.
So Syracuse setting it up here. 11 minutes to go. They've got a comfortable 8-4 lead here in the 4th period of this Masters semifinal. Syracuse, the number 1 ranked team. Cornell, the number 4. Ooh, that didn't hit the post. That was shot, number 21.
Yep.
That makes it 9-4, and Syracuse has now ripped off 6 straight goals.
Sean Lindsay with a nice dodge and then another bounce shot.
So the next semifinal game, here's the replay. Look at that wind up. Who goes to the next semifinal game that plays, going to play the winner of that game plays Syracuse?
They'll play the winner of Team Motive Pure Force 5, and they are playing they're not playing the Hopkins alumni team. They're playing the Graphtex team. So that game is going on right now, and they'll be playing to play the winner of that game. Motive Pure Force 5 is a pretty talented group. Mike Regan and Austin Garrison kind of leading that midfield. My man Ben Strutt is running midfield for them. It's a kind of an eclectic group of players, but it has been a force these last couple of years. I think the last 2 years they've been coming up here, and a lot of Princeton guys mostly, but a little bit of a mix. And they went down to that Hopkins team earlier in this tournament, but were able to come back and win thanks to Regan and Garrison. And those guys are hoping to maybe bring in some big guns for Sunday if they do make the final.
Syracuse, as they've done most of this second half, they're controlling the game, and that's why they're up 9-4. You know, possession, like in any sport, possession is key. Turnovers. Syracuse or Cornell's had a lot of opportunities to score. They just couldn't convert. They haven't converted, I don't think, since early in the second quarter. There's a great save by the goalie. Nice low ball. Boy, they've been throwing a lot of low balls down at him, haven't they?
Yeah, big save by Mike LaRocco. It looked like he's gotten used to those this late run of low shots. He's starting to go down there. So big save, and they're still in this one, running time. So they don't have all day, but 5 goals. They could make a run here. And the Burnt Orange are looking to return to the final and win their third Lake Placid Men's Masters 1 championship in a row. Doing it for the Simmons Lacrosse Foundation, SimmonsLacrosseFoundation.com, for Roy Simmons Jr., the legendary Hall of Fame former Syracuse coach that they started in honor of his wife Nancy, who passed away a couple years ago, and have started this foundation to raise money for various causes. The Wisdom House, which was very close to Nancy's heart, was kind of the original benefactor, and they're continuing to raise money for multiple causes now. And Coach Simmons was not able to get up here this time around after having his knee replaced, but we're hoping to get him back in the next couple of years. He's been a great addition to this event in the last 3-4 years.
So Syracuse trying to add to their 9-4 score. And it looks like Cornell has run out of gas because they really aren't chasing them out there. Syracuse just pretty much doing what they want here.
Yeah, Syracuse seems to be playing smarter.
Look at that shot.
Possessing the ball a little bit better, and really making it hard for the Steelheads to come out and get them and cause any turnovers.
John Morgan and John Gelani of Inside Lacrosse bringing you this Lake Placid Lacrosse Summit semi-final action in the Masters Division. It looks like Cornell finally has got possession, and they need to turn it on.
Bringing the ball upfield pretty quickly here, which is good.
Will you see them shoot quicker than normal, or will they try to set things up?
I think they're going to try to make something happen quicker if they can get the ball back, which it looks like they did. But yeah, they need to go to goal quickly here. 7:45 to go, down 5 goals in this semifinal game.
Syracuse defense pretty content.
Maybe got Kevin Doherty playing some defensive midfield there, number 4 behind the goal.
And right in front, little scrum. Syracuse goalie picks it up. So another thwarted effort. And the ball goes back the other way. Looks like Cornell ran out of gas. They put 4 goals on the board early. They had a 3-1 lead and a 4-3 lead, but since then, Syracuse has scored 6 straight unanswered goals. Is there any thoughts of saving yourself for the final here?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a factor. Yeah, I mean, you probably don't wanna burn too much energy if you don't have to. And yeah, one more game on Sunday. These guys will have today, the rest of today off, which I'm sure will be welcomed.
There's a behind the back
Look like
shot.
Matt
Good save.
Alexander.
Goalie was ready for that.
Excuse me, Sean Lindsay. On that shot.
Here comes Cornell in the attack, and they need to get something moving here quickly. They can't turn it over like they probably just did right there. Oh, nice contact. Here comes Syracuse. Good pickup by their, you say the long sticker, huh?
Yep, long stick midi number. Looked like that was Ric Beardsley over there.
47.
Number 47.
Yeah. And Syracuse comes right back into the Cornell red zone. Bad pass there. Scramble for it.
Oh, nice
Looks like
hustle by Cornell
Good
there.
hustle.
They
there's
they
some
caught
little
Syracuse.
action there. But
Caught
Syracuse
Syracuse
comes
napping a little bit there.
Syracuse comes away with it. Now what happens here? Oh, kicks it.
It's Chris McCartan with a nice little, some nice footwork on that one.
5.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, there's Ric Beardsley. Oh, yeah.
There's a flag. We haven't seen many of them. So number 47 will make his way off the field into the sin bin.
Yep.
Penalty box. What do you call it?
Penalty box is good. Sin bin is pretty accurate for Ric Beardsley, who has familiar with the penalty box. He has spent plenty of time down there in his career. A bit of a risky defenseman, and took a risk there with that over-the-head check. But as we can see here, just like this is that ground ball play. Nice hustle by Cornell to kind of sneak in on Syracuse.
Well, they need to score, and they need to score quickly. They got an opportunity here, one-man advantage. They're looking to try and get number 7, who's near the crease. And there's a shot. No, a lot of good passing until that.
Like Chris Danler just couldn't get that pass over there. A big attackman, number 8. They're looking for him up top.
Long shot, wide. I think like the Syracuse goalie got a piece of it. 9-4, Syracuse.Burnt Orange, the alumni from Syracuse, Masters Division. They're in the lead over the Cornell Steelheads. Cornell in the attack. Good stop by the goalie. He's had a lot of stops here in this.
Nice play by Justin Redd to try to get that ball back for Cornell.
So when you cover games, there's takeaway, giveaways, possession, same type of thing. Same type of thing with all ball and stick sports, possession, turnovers, all come into play.
Possession's critical. If you're familiar with basketball, possession is very similar, and movement is very similar in lacrosse, especially in a half-court, half-court set. The movement's very similar with the way the ball moves around and the way the possession is so important. So a lot of similarities with basketball. That's how if you're watching, if you're familiar with other sports and you've never watched this sport, if you know basketball, that'll help you. Kind of moves more up the field, similar to hockey and soccer on the fast break component.
Picks?
Yep. Yeah, you see pick and roll game. Pick and roll game, 2-man games are popular with the Canadians that play in the box setting, which is a little bit tighter and smaller arena, basically a hockey rink. But a lot of these guys will play the pick and roll game. It's again a basketball play that you're obviously very familiar with if you've ever watched sports.
Timeout on the field. Syracuse in the lead 9-4. But if they pan up and show the other fields going on, you can see competition on all 6 fields. This goes on all day long here. There's over 200 teams play over 500 games at this tournament in a week. You can see there's 3 fields across from us, and then 3 fields to the left of us. 6 beautiful fields here at the North Elba Park District grounds, adjacent to the horse show, across from the ski jumps, and on the same venue where the 1980 Winter Olympic Games opening ceremonies took place. Pretty historic, almost a Fields of Dreams up here.
Yep, yeah, very similar, with mountains instead of cornfields, which I would take any day of the week. But yeah, as you saw, you can see the quarterfinals that we'll be playing to meet in our 1:30 semifinal game. The far field and one of the fields over to the left is where the open boys are running around trying to make that 1:30 semifinal game to play in Sunday's championship game in the men's Open 1 division, which is all ages, typically college age, a little bit closer to college. and a lot of college stars and recent players running around in that division. Always always a fun one to watch.
Oh, there's it's getting a little chippy there now. Of course, there's going to be a little frustration coming out from the Cornell side in white.
And probably a little bit of little tired energy too. Guys not able to do what they were in the beginning of the game. A couple minutes in.
So what would the Cornell or the Syracuse coach here just tell these guys, slow down, substitute, hey, they got another game tomorrow?
Slow down, be smart, save your energy, don't turn the ball over. If they can eat the rest of this clock, I'm sure they would love to do that. Tim Burns there with the possession going against J.D. Jones from the Big Red Steelheads. And Tim's got that big body. He's going to be tough to take it away from, as you can tell there with two defenders going at him.
Nice pass right in front, shot wide. I think the goaltender got a piece of it. Syracuse showing some very, very good attack there. Good passing, almost like a set play.
Yeah, I think that was that might have been a set play, design play there, and nice defense by Cornell to keep it out of the net.
A lot of these players played with each other. This is the over 40s division, over the Masters division they call it. A lot of them played with each other in school, and a lot of them played against the Cornell people they're playing against now. So,
yep, it's actually 30 and over. It's a little bit younger from a Masters perspective. So it's nice to see that little bit younger element to it at the 30 level. So it's a big milestone for some of these guys when they do become eligible for this event to not have to go against 19, 20, 21-year-olds anymore in the open division.
Shot wide. Syracuse chases it down, stays in the attack mode. Do they keep track of who scores how many goals in the tournament? Is there a leading scorer?
Stats are a little bit hard to come by, as rosters are a little bit not the most reliable, so it's tough to keep stats at these events. We had an event last summer, and it was tough to keep the actual stats because, nice play by Sean Lindsay.
Wow, that showed some athleticism there. 10-4, Syracuse have extended their lead. They've now scored 7 straight unanswered goals over the Cornell Steelheads. Cornell can only reflect that this is their last game. They probably start talking about going to the lake or going to lunch someplace.
And you see Sean Lindsay just popped open on the crease and then did the classic back to the goal between the legs, low to high shot that we've actually seen a little bit more of Syracuse. Tim Desko did that, made it on SportsCenter a couple times during his college career at Syracuse. And Sean Lindsay, you can see him smiling in the background of the shot right there on the wing. Just a crazy shot to be able to finish that in traffic there, and a great feed from Paul Carcaterra inside.
Carcaterra has done that a few times in his career.
He has. One of our game's experts now at the TV level, and also work with Maverick Lacrosse and does the Maverick Showtime, and has his own camp down on the Hudson Valley area. So Paul's really turned into a great ambassador for this sport. Just going back to his playing days at Syracuse in the '90s. And Sean Lindsay, as I mentioned, out on the West Coast helping to grow the game out there, playing on the LXM Pro Tour, and seeing more and more guys move out west. Kyle Harrison, Scott Hockstad, Xander, Max Ritz, Chris Fratelli, former Tewaaraton winner, Michael Watson, a Virginia guy. Great to see those guys really growing the game out west. And as we saw a couple years ago, Peter Baum winning the Tewaaraton from Oregon. He's up here playing with Power Tech, which is a group of mostly Colgate alums that won the Open Division last year. But Peter Baum is a Portland, Oregon native working with LXM Pro Tour and Adrenaline and SEX out west, and moving to San Diego in a couple weeks, he said, right before he'll be coming back for the U.S. team tryouts.
Do you think the game in 10 years has doubled in popularity?
Close, I guess, yeah. When you factor in participation growth and then publicity, when you look at the TV and all the media coverage that comes now in the Final Four, being broadcast to so many more homes and just more people being able to watch the game. I'd say that's a fair statement from a notoriety and participation standpoint. It's been great to see. It's been great to follow along.
Whoa. Little action here late in the game. They say 24 seconds to go in the game. And, of course, the referee controls it. Cornell hopes to try and break the drought. They haven't scored since early in the second period when they had the lead 3-1. Syracuse came back, tied it up, but they got the lead 4-3. and they haven't scored since, and that's it. There's our final. The Syracuse Burnt Orange has scored 10 goals over the Cornell Steelheads 4 in the semifinal action of the 24th annual Lake Placid Summit Lacrosse Tournament. And I think it's safe to say that the number 1 seed, John, proved out to be who they are.
Yeah, they earned that seed, and again, missing some of the key personnel they've had the last couple of years. Not with the depth that they've been used to, but able to play pretty well so far, and advancing to the final on Sunday. They'll be playing at noon from the North Elba Athletic Fields, facing the winner of the Motive Pure Force 5 and the Graphtech semifinal game, which is just getting done, I believe, on an adjacent field. And we will be back with you at 1:30 for a men's open division semifinal game from the Lake Placid Summit Classic. Looking at some of the younger guys, will be a host of big-name college stars and former college stars in that game. We'll have you can look at InsideLacrosse.com and LakePlacidLax.com for what that matchup will be coming out of these 10:30 games that just got done here from Lake Placid.
Well, we're going to come back on at 1:30.
1:30 it is. We're going to take a little break here, regroup, and figure out who these open division games are going to be, and should be a fun one at 1:30.
So thanks for joining us here from the 24th annual Lake Placid Lacrosse Summit competition. John Giletti on the expert call. I'm John Morgan. We'll see you the next time at 1:30. Thank you very much.